You think you live alone. You lock your doors. You check under the bed. You turn off the lights at night believing the darkness is empty. But you're wrong. Right now, as you're listening to this, there are 8 legs moving in silence less than 6 feet from your face. And that's not the terrifying part. The terrifying part is what they've been doing while you weren't looking. What they've been hiding in your house for as long as humans have built walls. Because the spider you killed last Tuesday? That wasn't a victory. That was a sacrifice. And the colony behind your drywall just promoted its replacement. In 2016, entomologists at North Carolina State University did something nobody had ever dared to do at scale. They convinced 50 homeowners to let them dismantle their lives. Not metaphorically. Literally. Attics, basements, crawl spaces, inside walls, air ducts, insulation, behind electrical outlets. Every room was inventoried for arthropods. Bugs. Every bug. They found something that should be impossible in the modern world. 100% infestation. Every single house had spiders. Not 1 or 2. Dozens of species. Hundreds of individuals. New construction sealed by code. 40th floor apartments. Desert homes in Arizona where it hadn't rained in 8 months. Suburban colonials with monthly pest control. It didn't matter. If there was a roof, there were spiders. But here's the part that never made the news. The number you saw in the headline, the average of 60 to 100 arthropods per home, was a lie. Not because it was exaggerated. Because it was low. That was only what they could catch, count, and kill in 72 hours. The real number, the one they estimated from silk density, egg sac remnants, and molted exoskeletons, was closer to 2,000 per house. And 80% of them were in places you will never look. Because you can't. They're not in your house. They are your house. Let's kill another myth before we go deeper. The "you swallow 8 spiders a year in your sleep" thing. Entomologists roll their eyes at it. They say it's false. Spiders avoid the vibration, the heat, the hurricane of CO2 from your mouth. You're a predator to them. They're right. You don't swallow spiders. But they leave that correction hanging there, like that's the end of it. It's not. The question you should be asking is, if they're so afraid of us, why are they always in our bedrooms? Why do 93% of homes have spiders specifically in the rooms where humans sleep? In 2012, researchers at the University of Rennes in France wanted to know. So they installed infrared cameras in 14 apartments. Not to watch people. To watch Tegenaria domestica. The giant house spider. The one you find sprinting across your bathroom floor at 2 a.m. like it owns the place. Because it does. The data showed these spiders weren't random. They weren't lost. They weren't hunting. Between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., when REM sleep peaks and your house is at its quietest, the spiders emerged and did something that has no business existing in a simple animal. They ran routes. Deliberate, repeated loops across ceilings and crown molding. Same path every night. Pausing at specific points. Touching the surface with their spinnerets. Not building webs. Laying down draglines. Single strands of silk, invisible in daylight, but under UV, the cameras lit up a grid. A map. A map of your bedroom. Above your bed. Why would a spider need a map of the space above your face? Because you've misunderstood the entire relationship. You think spiders infest houses. Houses don't get infested. Houses are the infestation. From the spider's perspective, human architecture is the greatest evolutionary jackpot since wings. Go back 380 million years. The Devonian period. The first forests. Spiders were already there. They were among the first terrestrial predators. And they won not by being fast or strong, but by being architects. Webs are just real estate speculation. Claim space. Make it sticky. Wait. The best spiders weren't the ones that built in open air. Those got eaten by birds. The winners were the ones that exploited existing structures. Hollow logs. Rock fissures. Caves. Anywhere with three things: protection from weather, stable temperature, and surfaces that transmit vibration. Now look at your living room. Drywall corners. Drop ceilings. HVAC vents. Wooden joists. You didn't invent a house. You built a perfect cave system, scaled up, climate-controlled, and pre-stocked with food. Because that's your job in this system. You are the rancher. You bring in the livestock. Every banana is a fruit fly egg delivery. Every package from Amazon is a potential silverfish motel. Your porch light is a moth beacon. Your shower drain breeds drain flies. Your kitchen crumbs feed ants and roaches. And spiders are the unpaid management. Dr. Linda Rayer at Cornell spent 20 years with Phalcus phalangioides. Cellar spiders. Daddy longlegs. The wispy, trembling ones in your basement corners. She discovered what pest control companies will never put in a brochure: house spiders are not solitary. They form what she termed cryptic metacolonies. A hidden nation, distributed through the voids of your home. One female lives 3 to 7 years. She mates once and stores sperm. She can produce 3 egg sacs a year, 50 eggs each. Do the math. One female, in one wall void, can account for 1,050 spiders over her lifetime. So why do you only see one? Because past. Oxford University tag and spiders in a controlled 3-room house in 2020. The results are brutal. The spiders you see are not. They are the failures. Juveniles kicked out to find new territory. Males on suicide missions to find mates. Old females who stopped producing and were evicted. They are sent into the open. Into your line of sight. They are the expendables. The real colony lives in the walls. Permanent females anchor themselves near vibration highways, plumbing, electrical lines, ductwork. Anything that carries sound. They build 3D tangle webs, not the pretty orb webs you see outside. These are murder scaffolds, strung through insulation, designed to catch anything that uses the wall void as a runway. And they're connected. Silk lines run from the basement to the attic. When a fly hits a web in your kitchen, the matriarch behind your bedroom wall knows it. She feels it. The entire house is one web. One nervous system. So when you kill that spider in your bathtub, what happens? 7 to 10 days later, another one appears. Same species. Same size. Same spot. You think it came in from outside. It didn't. The colony registered a casualty. A territory went empty. And they dispatched a juvenile from the wall void to fill the gap. It's population control. It's PR. If you never saw a spider, you'd never think to clean. You'd let the fruit flies breed. You'd ignore the silverfish. The colony needs you to see one spider a month. Just enough to feel like you're dominant. Not enough to call a fumigator and tent the house. Because tenting kills the queens. And the queens are the secret. Every infested house has a matriarch. Usually Steatota grossa, the false widow, or Peristeatota tepidariorum, the common house cobweb spider. She's 2 to 3 times larger than the ones you see. She hasn't been in daylight since she was the size of a pinhead. She lives in the darkest, most stable void. Above your electrical panel. Inside the return air plenum. Behind the fiberglass in your attic knee wall. She doesn't hunt. She commands. Her web is her brain. Every strand is a nerve. She can differentiate the vibration of a housefly from a human footstep through the floor joists. She knows when you're home by the 60 Hz hum of your electronics. She knows when you're asleep because CO2 levels rise and your movement patterns change. And she's learning. Portia jumping spiders can plan detours and solve puzzles. House spiders aren't that smart. They don't have to be. They have evolutionary time and they have you. A 2018 study in animal behavior put accelerometers in apartment walls in Berlin. Web vibration activity for Steatota spiked not when prey was caught, but when humans left for work. They wait for silence. Then they work. Repairing lines. Expanding the network. Cannibalizing weak males. Feeding. When your car pulls into the driveway, the vibration signature hits the web and they freeze. You've had the feeling of being watched in an empty room. You were. From inside the vent. From the gap behind your baseboard. From the space between your mirror and the wall where the glue gave out 6 years ago. But what's the point? Why go through all this? Why not just bite us and be done with it? Because biting you is bad business. Most house spiders can't pierce human skin. Their fangs are for chitin, not epidermis. And venom is metabolically expensive. It's a limited resource. Wasting it on a 180-pound mammal that you can't eat is like burning down a grocery store to kill a fly. You are not prey. You are infrastructure. You maintain the cave. You keep it at 72 degrees. You keep it dry. You remove competing predators like centipedes and mud daubers. You import food. In return, the colony gives you a service, pest management. The North Carolina state study found something else that didn't fit in the press release. Houses with robust cellar spider populations had 97% fewer flies, 80% fewer roaches, and 60% fewer stored product pests like carpet beetles. Kill the spiders and the ecosystem collapses. The roaches explode. Then you call pest control. They spray. The spray kills everything except the spider egg sacs, which are protected by silk. 3 weeks later, the spiders hatch into a world with no competition and a fresh roach buffet. The cycle gets worse. You call again. It's not a conspiracy. It's just biology meeting capitalism. And there's one more layer. The silk. That mapping behavior on your ceiling? In 2021, Aarhus University analyzed the chemical composition of Tegenaria dragline silk. It wasn't just protein. It was loaded with pheromones. Pheromones. Chemicals that manipulate other species. The silk mimics the smell of fungal decay and dead insects. It attracts gnats. Fruit flies. Phorid flies. It pulls them up, away from your fruit bowl, away from your face, into the corners and ceiling edges where the juvenile spiders are waiting. They are not just living in your house. They are actively farming it. They are hurting your pests. Cleaning your airspace. Running a chemical warfare campaign against the bugs you hate, and you never see a single battle. You only see the aftermath, a dead spider in the sink. A victory. It was a tax. A tithe. The colony paid it to keep you calm, to keep you from nuking the whole system. So what happens if you do? What if you bomb the house? What if you move? They've planned for that too. Female house spiders practice matriphagy. When food is scarce, when the colony is stressed, the mother will allow her young to eat her. Her body becomes the starter colony for the next generation. Her final act is to ensure her genetics survive the extinction event. And her egg sacs? They're nearly indestructible. Wrapped in multiple layers of silk, they can survive desiccation, freezing, and most consumer-grade pesticides. They hitchhike in your moving boxes. In your furniture. In the folds of your clothes. You don't move out of a spider house. You take the spiders with you. You seed the new colony yourself. There's a story from a hospital in British Columbia. They did a full renovation of a ward. Down to the studs. New drywall. New everything. Sealed tight. The first night the ward reopened, nurses found steatota webs in the corners. The spiders hadn't come back. They'd never left. They were in the metal frames of the hospital beds. In the voids of the equipment that was moved back in. You can't win a territory war against something that evolved 300 million years before you figured out drywall. So tonight, when you turn off the light, remember this: the house is quiet. But it's not empty. The vibrations of your footsteps are fading through the joists. The matriarch feels it. She knows you're in bed. She knows your breathing is slowing down. And somewhere, above your ceiling, a juvenile male is finishing his route. He's been doing it for 6 weeks. Every night. Laying down silk. Not to catch anything. To read the room. Because the map isn't for him. It's for the next one. The one that will take his place when you find him in the shower and your shoe comes down. The map is the colony's memory. It tells them where you sleep. Where you sit. Where the air currents run. Where the food comes from. It's a census. A diagram of their farm animal. And if you wake up at 3 a.m. and you feel like something just moved across your face, but there's nothing there. That's because it wasn't on your face. It was above it. Checking the line. Confirming the data. Making sure the map of you is still accurate. Because the terrifying secret spiders are hiding in your house isn't that they're there. It's that they're organized. They're patient. They're managing you. And they've been doing it since the day you got the keys. You didn't buy a house. You inherited a colony. And the rent is due every night you sleep. You pay it in carbon dioxide. In crumbs. In warmth. In silence. And in the one spider a month you're allowed to find, so you can feel like you're in control. You're not. But they're okay with you thinking that. Because as long as you think you're winning, you'll keep the machine running. You'll keep the cave warm. You'll keep the food coming. And the matriarch, in the wall behind your head, will keep living. Year after year. Watching. Waiting. Mapping. So go ahead. Turn off the light. They're counting on it.